would love to show you how to paint this Missouri landscape. We took a trip to Missouri. We've traveled full time and we went to Kansas City and checked out the city. We went and saw the Truman House. We also learned about George Washington Carver. We also went and saw how money is made. Look at this art with money. If you want to make art for me with money, go ahead and send that to me. I'm trying to lift up gold here. It was a little hard. We went to a baseball game. As you can see in Missouri, there's a lot to do for fun. And don't forget to have some barbecue. Missouri is a beautiful place to enjoy the beauty of nature. This painting is inspired by the beautiful landscapes at Missouri, and the reference photo for this was taken by Shad Reber, and it is Sunrise in O'Fallon. I'm going to show you how to paint this on a small canvas, 8x8. The original that I painted was on a 18x18, but that takes several hours. So let's do this on a small canvas panel or canvas. Alright, so on our palette today, the supplies that I use are in the description below, and if you don't have the exact same colors, don't worry. You just need to have your primary yellow. I'm using yellow azo. I'm going to use Nathal Crimson as my red, and then you need to have a blue. You can have Brilliant Blue as your blue. You can also have Phthalo Cyan Blue, green shade. You're going to need titanium white. Look at my big fat titanium white there. Okay, if you want to use a light blue, you can use that too. And I'm going to be using my white and my brilliant blue to get this light blue. I want some water, and I have these really cool mugs now on my site at createfulart.com. They tell you that it's a paint mug so that you don't use it to drink out of. And you're also going to need some gesso. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put some gesso down in the middle of my canvas there. And then I'm going to start adding in my other colors. I'm going to start with yellow, and I'm just mixing with my gesso to get a light yellow and moving it around with my wash brush, my bigger flat wash brush. This moment to enjoy spreading color all over your canvas and getting that first layer down. Doesn't matter if there's brush strokes or anything like that. I'm going to add some red on there. You can add it wherever you want, really. Doesn't matter. This is all going to be seen underneath a lot of layers. So I'm going to add some of my blue onto there, and I need to add a little bit more gesso to get the light blue. I'm just going to spread that on my canvas as well. Go ahead and let it dry. You can use a blow dryer to help you dry it fast if you want, or just go do something else for a little bit. Alright, for this layer we're going to add in some hills. I'm going to grab my black here and mix it with my blue, because this is going to be some black dark hills with some fog coming up, and so we want to have a dark color to contrast against the sunset. Okay, so we're going to divide our canvas up. So we're going to have this halfway mark right here, and this is where the middle part of our trees are going to go. And then right here at this point, it's going to come down. So our trees are going to reach down to that point and then go back up on the right side. So let's just use our flat brush right now to get in some trees, and notice how I'm skipping around and being really random with the top of the trees. Now I'm going to take it back up to the side, right, and do that same thing. So some of those trees are going to be poking up higher than the other trees. I'm just going to bring it down. So I'm going to mix some more of my black with my blue, start filling in that area underneath the treetops. Okay, just using my flat brush again and then pulling down, and I don't want to reach all the way down because there's going to be fog down there. Now the reason why I'm using black and blue is because I don't want to use straight black. The blue creates depth. As you can see, it makes it look like it's coming forward a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to mix my green here, so yellow and my blue, and I'm going to put in the green coming forward, the green hill. So over there on the left, just a little bit less than an inch, and then on the other side maybe just a little bit less than 2 inches, or you could do 1 inch, 2 inch, it doesn't matter. It's going to be lower on that left side, and I'm painting a line with my flat brush over to the right side. This area is going to be lighter than those hills back there, so it's going to have some green with my black, and also I'm going to use some blue. So over there on the left, I'm going to add some of my brilliant blue, just a little bit darker than the underneath color, and because I want this to kind of be brighter in the front. So I'm filling in this area, grabbing a few different colors. When you look outside during sunrise or a sunset, you'll be able to see more colors in the foreground. So this is the foreground we're working on right now. You'll be able to see also more contrast. So I grabbed my straight black this time, and I'm putting a black streak from the bottom left there to the right. Okay, so you're gonna see more colors, and you're also gonna see more contrast. So I'm adding in some green grass right over there and putting blue. This step right here is where you can add in some of your own personality. You can make yours look more realistic than mine, or however you want to use your brush strokes. I'm going to let some of my background show through. So right there on the bottom right, and then on the left bottom right, I'm going to let some of that blue that we put down first and some of that red that we put down first show through. For the foggy part, you want to have a really dry brush, and you want to have less on your brush. To get the foggy look, you have to pull down that dark color in some of the areas, and then just lightly in a swirly motion put down just a little bit of paint in some areas so you can see the background. And then in some areas you want to have that really dark tree part, so you want to pull in and get it down, get that tree line down. So this is just the first layer. It doesn't matter really how this goes because we can always layer on top of it. So just use this time to practice pulling your paint down, taking some of that paint off, and in a swirling motion, lightly covering some of the area. In several places, I'm going to be leaving that background color to show through. So don't cover all of your background color. Just watch what I'm doing in this step, and this will help you to be able to do it on your own, so you can kind of follow along. You can pause the video anytime you need to. All about layering, so I'm going to add in a light blue layer over the top. Okay, so you'll notice that I am covering some of that red over there on that side, but I'm not going to cover it all. Okay, so I'm adding in the light blue to give some contrast to the foreground and that area. Okay, the area above it, and that's going to create like a shine off of the fog, a look of shine off the fog. Okay, so I'm pushing in that light blue up there into the trees and softening it by using a swirly motion and not having a lot of paint on my brush. This again is just another layer, so it's going to look pretty raw still because we have to make this soft, and to create softness we have to create more layers. Now it's time to put in that top part of the tree line. I'm just going to be grabbing almost pure black for this because it's right against the sun or the sky, and so there's going to be more contrast back there. Okay, so I'm just going from side to side, just about an inch above the lower tree line or the middle tree line there, and I'm dipping down where the sun's going to be. And notice how I'm not making it a straight line. Okay, this is just going to create more interest back there. I'm just using my flat brush for this as well. Okay, and just meeting up with that line. Okay, and then you just start filling in the area below that line with the same color and pull down. Don't pull down all the way, but leave that area down below kind of jagged, not straight across. Okay, because there's also going to be fog in between this layer and the other layer in front of it. Okay, so in the middle right there is going to have the sun, and so we don't want to have a whole lot of black right there because the the sun is going to glow off of the trees and create kind of like an orange color. So I'm actually going to take my brush and wet it down and get the color off of it and then pull off the black. So I have to pull off the black and then wash my brush again and then pull off the black and wash my brush again, you know, take off that black off of my brush so that that area right there, I can layer some orange and it's not going to show the black underneath it. So I'm going to be mixing my red and my yellow and a little bit of white to get the first layer of orange down. And it's kind of like a peachy color right now, and I'm just kind of getting a peach down in some of the area right there. Now I'm going to brighten it up and add some of the red right where that hill is. Okay, and this is just an underlayer, so it's going to look pretty raw and transparent. This is both two transparent paints that I'm using so you can see underneath them. They're not opaque. I like to use the transparent paint for this step so that it creates depth. So we're going to have to create a lot of layers, and the layers is what's going to make it look like there's a lot of depth and a lot going on in this painting. So now I'm going to put some of that orange going down there, and it's going to create this look like the light is bouncing off of the fog down there. So the under layers are going to show, so it's going to take several layers to get that to show orange. So now I'm taking the paint off of my brush and I'm moving some of that black paint around to create a lighter color, so it's showing the color underneath it. So I'm pulling off some of the black again and then in a swirly motion getting that fog look. Okay, that's how I'm doing that. Now I'm going to grab some purple. I made that with my red and my blue and some of my white, and I'm going to put in that purple color where the fog is. I'm going to leave some of the yellow showing though, because that yellow is going to create a glow. So I don't want to cover it entirely. And just remember that you don't need a lot of purple on your brush, because you want to kind of be mixing the purple with the black, and you don't want to create a solid color to go over your black. Okay, so again, you want it to be transparent so you can create depth. Now, a lot of painters, they do like to use solid colors so that it covers the area like right off the bat, but that's not good when it comes to creating a landscape that's realistic, because there's so much depth and so many layers, and that's what makes it look really, really nice. So there's a key for you. When you're creating or painting a landscape, let yourself layer. That's going to make it look less like a cartoon and it's going to create more depth in your work. Also, you have to make sure you have enough layers so it doesn't look like it's not finished. All right, so I'm going to let the under layer, this layer, dry, and then I'm going to be adding more layers on top. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing this until I build up to how I want it to look. So I've added several layers, and while those dry, I'm going to work on my sky. So I've got my round brush and I'm going to add some white right there in a circle right above where that dip goes in those hills back there. And now I'm creating a really light yellow, and I'm going to add that to my circle and go around my circle. Okay, and this is going to create a really bright sun. Right, so I want to have some light yellow in the middle. You don't want it to be white, because white tends to go towards blue or a gray. So you want to have a light yellow in the middle, and then a darker yellow on the outside, and then even a darker yellow on the outside of that. Okay, now I'm going to spread that darker color of the sun on the outside there. I'm going to spread it next to it on the right and underneath. I don't want to cover the yellow background completely. If there's parts of your sky that doesn't have yellow, this is the time to cover it too. But I want to get that sky to be darker so that that sun can glow. Because if there's no difference in value or contrast there, it's not going to look like it's glowing. Okay, so as I'm going to center it around the sun, and as I move out, I'm going to get pinker with my color. So I need to grab some of the white and a little bit more red, and then push it to the edge there. All right, so that's how I'm doing that, and then I'll do that on both sides. Now I'm going to take some of the purple that I had for the fog, and I'm going to create some clouds. So starting from that left, I'm going to just create some streaks in there. I'm going to put some more on the right. Notice that they're just flat going across. Now I'm going to create a light blue with my blue and my white, and using my flat brush, I'm going to push the blue color up there at the top across my canvas. So on the left and the top, and then over there on the right, and I'm going to leave some of that yellow showing through. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of red to that color, and it's going to gray it down. It's going to be kind of a warmer gray color because I've added red to it, and so red and blue, it makes a gray. And I'm going to add just a little bit over there at the top. The reason why I'm adding gray to the top is because I want to have kind of a neutral color to give you a, I don't know, a break from all the bright colors that are in this painting. And I'm going to add some streaks of that as well, so it looks like there's just streaks of clouds in there. So I've turned my brush to the side and just using the edge, and then I flip my brush over to cover more area. So you can add as much gray as you want. You can do this step, or you can not do this step, just whatever your personal preference is. So right now I'm pulling off some of the gray color, and it's going to show the yellow underneath. Isn't that cool? So when your paints are wet, you can do this. You can pull the color off and then wipe it on your paper towel. Right? This is just the underlayer, so this is going to be covered more so that it's doesn't have a look of like not being complete. So at this point, the painting looks really rough still. It's not softened. There needs to be some more layers on it. So I'm going to add another layer over the orange and up there above the sun of a little bit of pink, and it's going to give that transition that needs to happen between the blue and the orange. All right, so I'm going to show you some of the final layers that I'm going to put on. So I'm grabbed my red, and I'm just adding a little bit of yellow, and I'm trying to create a very saturated bright color here that's more in the orange, and I'm adding another layer of glow underneath the sun. Okay, so I need to have it bright because it's bouncing right off that mountain, and when the light bounces off the mountain in the fog, it's creating this really awesome glow. Okay, and then I'm going to add some of that orange color right next to the sun, and that's going to create some more layers over there. So in the foggy part, you just want to add a little bit of the red, and then you want to soften it. So you take the color off your brush, and then in a swirly motion you can soften it. You can also add white to the color, and this will dull the color down, so just be aware of that, but it will lighten it, and it'll make a little more of an opaque paint to stand on top of the paint, and then you can just kind of soften between that and the under layers. Okay, so just watch as I put in more layers here. Okay, reaching my fog and blending, softening. The only difference between this painting and my finished painting up there on the right is the layers and the softening, and that just takes time. But notice how it creates so much more depth when you do it that way. So I'm going to keep adding layers, and I'm going to do that until I'm happy with the look. Gotten it to a point where you feel like you are done with it, go ahead and sign your work and be proud of yourself because you just finished a painting. If you haven't already, I hope you subscribe, and make sure if you've subscribed that you hit that bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified whenever I make a new video. And then you can click over here on the right and get my weekly art lessons. They teach you how to become a better artist. I teach you different styles of art so that you can discover your own style. We talk about mediums and paint colors and how to mix your paints. We talk about brushes. There are so many things that we talk about in these art lessons, and they're important for you to understand how to make art. So I hope you grab those. And then once you become a member, go ahead and watch more videos. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I love being your art teacher. I will see you in my next video. Bye!